Today, we're talking about Dunkin' Donuts having the most unhinged social media around Halloween.
Funkin' Go Nuts.
And it's really interesting because I went through some of the collateral and the stuff that they're posting, and it really is it's very promiscuous. It's like like I could read one. There's a donut with kind of like it's like a spider donut, and it says people be like, "LOL, who's this diva?" And then the next one is, "Why don't you meet me in the parking lot, pal?"
What?
It's like, whoa, like that's like yeah. So it's interesting because I feel like social media and marketing is that one area of business that Gen Z is like really having a moment in. And it started with Duolingo with Zaria Parvez, who,
Dua Lipa?
yeah, exactly. They actually had Dua Lipa involved in a
Oh,
campaign.
Duolingo. Okay.
Yeah, Duolingo. And like they basically handed the reins over to a Gen Zer to run the social media, and they've seen wild success with it. And many other companies have kind of followed suit.
Wendy's crushes it. The,
Exactly.
fa-
And
the fast food brands are really that whole dynamic when they're all messing with each
like the
other.
Taco Bell and the Wendy's
Oh, and
and
then
the
they chime
McDonald's.
in. But the Wendy specific because they've embodied the character of Wendy, and she's a sassy
Yeah.
young whatever she's doing.
Yeah, and honestly, it's really hard to get a brand to stand out on social media because there are so many. It's interesting because, you look at it from the perspective of Dunkin' Donuts, it's like this household name. It could be that it's kid friendly and it's like it's family friendly, and then they like go on social media and they kind of like they're playing with a household name. Like it's not a
It's a little
small
reckless.
name. It's
It's your
yeah, and
brand. It's your
you
brand
could say
reputation.
on one hand you could say it's reckless, and on the other hand you could say, well, it's actually making them stand out from the crowd and like having this moment. Like there's articles being written about that.
Yeah, we hear you, Serge. Thank you.
So I don't know. What do you think about this?
So I have a couple thoughts here, and I want to go back to something. The Empire State Building did something pretty cringe. Their social media the other day. And I don't know exactly what it was. There was another structure, another famous structure in the United States that has a social media account, and they were celebrating an anniversary. And the Empire State Building retweeted back to them. Who cares? Like that's not on brand for the Empire. The Empire State Building is this iconic structure in New York City. It lights up to support all the good causes, all the sports teams, and then it's being smug and kind of being a dick. Like I don't think the Empire State Building is that kind of character. The Empire State Building that doesn't embody it. So that was a fail on that part. And brands, to your point, really have to be careful here. They really have to be careful of who is manning the controls, who is writing these posts. There's a delicate balance between trying to be funny, being funny. I mean, the life I live, believe me, right? Like being cringe, saying something that's just a little off color. I mean, this represents your brand and the people that support it. Now, with that being said, Duncan, if you go back to the Ben Affleck, the Matt Damon commercials, Tom Brady was it. Those are great. They nailed it. It was on brand. It was perfect. They kind of made fun of themselves, self-deprecating. Like it was great. This, I think they crossed the line.
Well, it's interesting too because the we're talking about different levels of it, right? So this is obviously like an entire campaign. Like this is not just your Gen Z employee tweeting out recklessly. This is an entire Halloween campaign that is around their fall menu and the Halloween menu. So it's not, and it's likely went through several levels of approval.
Mm.
So to me, we're in this time within social media and marketing where it's just everything is an experiment. And you kind of, as from a marketer standpoint, like I view this as like, okay, they're testing something, they're seeing if it works or not for their brand. And at the end of the day, they can always go back to the bread and butter of like the Tom Brady commercials. You know what I
Right.
mean? And they really hit it out of the ballpark with those commercials. So I feel like at this point, they were primed for some sort of experiment. And
They got
maybe
their
this
hopes
one
up.
didn't hit.
They got their hopes up, and
That's what my thing is.
Nikki Russell's chiming in. Nikki Russell. she's chiming in the comments. Brand consistency, right? Are you keeping that voice? Are you building a character? Are you building a brand? Let's put a pin in this. But I will say, I mean, I moved on from Dunkin' Donuts. I don't even like Starbucks anymore. We do our own stuff. Dunkin' Donuts is mud water. Get your act together, Dunkin'.